a mother losing her child for 6 months. It was terrifying.
Y'all know my job. In my spare time, I infiltrate the Illuminati. Look for their secrets. Run back. Tell y'all. And they, if they could, but I'm too fast, and the Lord keep blessing me. Yep. That's the truth. So now understand that sometimes when you hear me talk, I'm telling real secrets that should not be out there. But that's just what the fuck I gotta do.
Is Regina King, nominated for lead actress, series or TV movie for 7 seconds, supporting actress.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? What? Is to act like it didn't happen.
Hold on. Did Regina King really sacrifice her only son, Ian Alexander, for fame and money? Or is this just another internet theory spiraling out of control? Katt Williams has people reopening this conversation because he has spent years hinting at the dark side of Hollywood, the idea that some stars rise only after a brutal give and take. And now, some people believe Regina's story fits that pattern in a way that feels disturbing to them. Ian's death in 2022, at just 26 years old, never fully sat right with a lot of people. Regina released a statement saying the family was devastated and asking for privacy, but the questions never stopped. For some viewers, the whole situation felt too sudden, too heavy, and too familiar to the kind of tragedy people always say happens in Hollywood behind closed doors. That is where the speculation started. But what really pushed it further was what people found when they looked back at Ian's own posts. Before he died, Ian had openly tweeted about how badly he was struggling. He talked about his mental health in a way that many people now see as a clear cry for help. One tweet even said he didn't think Instagram was healthy for him. Another compared his mind to that chaotic SpongeBob episode where everything inside his brain is falling apart. At the time, a lot of people brushed it off, but now looking back, some critics argue those warnings were too obvious to miss. And once that idea took hold, people started asking the same harsh question. If he was saying all this publicly, why didn't somebody step in? Then an old red carpet interview started making the rounds again. Regina admitted she almost turned down her role in 7 seconds because the story of losing a son felt too close to home. During that interview, Ian was standing right next to her, smiling proudly, while she explained how terrifying it was to film scenes where her son dies. That clip hit people in a completely different way after his death. Some now think she was scared for a reason. And what made the rumors darker was the timing of Regina's career comeback. After Ian passed, people noticed she suddenly became much more visible again, starring in Shirley, producing, directing, collecting nominations, and stepping back into the spotlight in a major way. To some, that looked like a comeback. To others, it looked like something much uglier. Did this raise red flags for you?
Then to know that I was going to have to be in a space of a mother losing her child for 6 months, it was terrifying. I didn't realize that was the reason why. In my mind, I told myself, I don't need to play another mother. I need to chill on a mother role for a while. But as I was in it, and Vina Sood was so sure that I needed to be the mother, and as I was in it and we were working on the show, I realized it was just my own fear of being in a place that I don't ever want to be in life, you know?
Now, this is where the conversation gets even darker. People immediately brought up Katt Williams, saying he has been hinting at these alleged Hollywood sacrifices for years. He never named Regina directly, but they say his warnings line up with the rumors people are now pushing. One clip that always gets brought up is his 2013 interview, where he flat out said the Illuminati was real. Katt claimed he was approached, told to make certain sacrifices, and refused. He also said turning them down comes with consequences, because once they can't control you, they strip away what you have until you are forced to depend on them again. Do you think Katt knew something?
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
Yeah.
But now it's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest.
Then fast forward to 2024, when Katt sat down on Club Shay Shay and got even more direct. He spoke about Ricky Smiley's son's death like it was tied to an Illuminati ritual, and that immediately made people connect the dots back to Regina and Ian. In their minds, the pattern was too close to ignore. What really fueled the comparison was the timing. In both situations, people online started looking at the tragedy and then looking at the parent who stayed in the spotlight afterward. That is how these theories grow. Once someone believes Hollywood works through rituals and sacrifices, every interview starts sounding suspicious, every career move looks strategic, and every success after a loss gets interpreted as proof of something sinister. That is exactly what happened here. Katt did not have to say Regina's name for people to drag her into the conversation themselves. And because Katt has built a reputation for saying what other people are afraid to say, a lot of viewers took his words more seriously than they normally would. So once he started talking about sacrifices again, Regina's name was pulled right back into the fire. Was that really just a coincidence? And trust, people have had a lot to say about all of this. Some of the reactions were brutal. One person said they used to admire Regina and thought she was one of the few actresses who felt real and transparent. But after Ian's death, that changed completely. They said they did not believe the official story and claimed it looked more like a blood sacrifice. Their logic was simple. Whenever someone close to a celebrity dies, they watch to see whether that celebrity suddenly starts rising again. And in Regina's case, they pointed to the endorsements, the new projects, the directing work, and the fresh attention she started getting. Another person said Regina never really disappeared after Ian's death, that she kept working, kept getting paid, kept showing up, and that to them it only made the whole thing feel darker. That is the kind of thinking driving this entire theory. Once people decide Hollywood fame must come with a cost, they begin reading every public move through that lens. A commercial is no longer just a commercial. A new role is not just a new role. It becomes proof. And once the internet starts treating speculation like evidence, it spreads fast. That is why this topic refuses to die. For one side, this is a grieving mother who suffered an unimaginable loss and then tried to keep living. For the other side, her continued success after that loss is exactly what makes them suspicious. They see the timing, they hear Katt Williams talking about rituals, they go back to Ian's tweets, they replay that 7 seconds interview, and they convince themselves the story is much darker than it looks on the surface. At the center of it all is that same question people keep coming back to. Was Regina simply a mother dealing with tragedy, or is the internet seeing signs it cannot ignore? That is why her name keeps getting dragged into these conversations again and again, because once people believe there is something hidden behind Hollywood's success, they start looking for confirmation everywhere. Do you buy this theory?